As of 7:30 a.m., lessons had already begun, but with just a handful of students. Missing was Rita Awuni. Her seat was empty. About an hour later, Rita arrived with her baby on her back. This has been the routine of the 17-year-old since she became a teen mother, balancing motherhood and her education. The dream of becoming a teacher in future cannot be truncated because of a setback. But that dream seems vague under the present circumstances of living on the streets with her son. As fate will have it, Rita herself was raised on the streets by her mother until she passed on in 2015. She had to grow up overnight, and that began the task of fending for herself when her relatives could barely cater for her due to their poor background. Since you came to Accra, how has life been for you?
It's not easy. It's difficult for me to live alone whilst my mom and dad is not with me. And I was sleeping outside too.
So how do you take care of yourself? Who pays your school fees? Who gives you money? How do you take care of yourself?
We don't pay school fees, but when I close from school, I do sell pure water. That's the work I've been doing.
So you're living on the streets, you're living alone by yourself. What's your dream?
My dream is to achieve something. I want to be a teacher. And when my son too grown up, I'll tell him what happened when I was young.
Rita enrolled at the Independence Avenue 2 Basic Cluster of Schools, late 2019, in JHS 1, after shuffling between several schools in the capital. The free basic education was her savior, but COVID-19 hit the country in March 2020, and that put a spoke in her wheel because schools were shut. Trying to navigate the uncharted waters of COVID-19, the young girl got pregnant.
When I got pregnant, I don't even know, he's the one who told me that I was pregnant. So when he told me, and I bought some tests and I test. When I test it is true I was pregnant. And when I went and told him, he told me to abort it, and I said no. And he said I should abort it so that I can continue my school, and I said no. I'll still give birth. And he said okay.
Is the father of the child aware that you have given birth?
He is aware.
What has he done about it?
Nothing.
So they are not taking care of you. Do you hear from Frederick? Why did you decide to continue with your education even after giving birth?
I've not complete from the end. I want to complete. Maybe if in any work, maybe I can use the JHS certificate to do it so that my son will not suffer.
Since returning to the school to complete her JHS, teachers at the school have been very accommodating and offer childcare support in all forms to lessen the burden on the teenage mother. With this mission to ensure that Ghanaian children of school-going age are provided with quality education and training through effective and efficient management of resources, and to make education delivery relevant to the nation's manpower needs, the Accra Metro Education Directorate is leaving no one behind.
There's an attendant, so when the girl actually comes to school, the baby is sent to KG, and the baby will be taken care of by the attendant. Anytime that the girl wants to breastfeed the child, she comes out to go and then breastfeed. In the morning, through my guidance and counseling coordinator, we are able to provide her some breakfast. The school also tries to provide a lunch, and we move on. we are trying to encourage her. She's in the final year. Have my frontline officers who move out over there to actually encourage the girls to actually refrain from this girlfriend relationship and boyfriend relationship, so that they will be able to go through the education successfully and become important personalities in the future.
Rita is in JHS 3 preparing for her BECE while her son is in KG at the same school. Here is where she calls home. Her hope and prayer is to break the cycle of living on the streets and raise her son in a decent home, not to also fall prey to the dangers of street life, a vicious cycle of abuse, crime, drugs and neglect. For GBC News, Clara Mnano reporting.